Welcome to Healing Banashi, a space for sharing and open conversation around healing in all its forms. I'm your host Innina, and here we explore healing in its broadest sense. We speak about practices, paths, and lived experiences, always grounded and embodied with presence, sincerity, and humanity. Today I have the great pleasure of welcoming Yuki Ōishi. We met in Kyoto in a very beautiful moment that remain in my heart. Today we will talk about inner journeys, console therapy, card reading and tarot reading, Reiki, but above all about the human path behind all these practices. I'm looking forward to share this beautiful conversation with you. So make yourself comfortable and let's get started. Okay, so good morning, Yuki. Good morning, hi. Good morning or evening for you, I think. Yes, here. Well, 8:43 p.m. So good evening, a lovely good evening. And for you, good morning, well, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, exactly. How wonderful, Yuki. I am truly happy to have you here today on Healing Banashi. Welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It's truly an honor. Thank you. Oh, I'm the honored one, you know. I was thinking, because we already did this interview in Japanese a few days ago, but I was realizing that our first meeting in Kyoto was really meaningful for me, and it was love at first sight. That's it. When I saw you, I already fell in love. The same thing on my side, right? I deeply believe that certain things do not happen by chance, you know? I mean, there isn't, I mean, there are soul connections that find each other again, and that's what I felt. Exactly. Yes, exactly. I felt it too, the same thing. Beautiful. Oh, maybe to give a little context to those who don't know us in this love at first sight. Yeah. We met at the Jikiden Reiki Institute in 2024, 2 years ago, I think. And yeah, you were there, and the amazing thing is that it was a seminar in English, translated from Japanese for Tadao Yamaguchi sensei, but you were there translating the seminar into Italian for our dear Antonio-chan. Yes, Antonio, our fantastic colleague. He had come from Italy to Kyoto to attend the Shihankaku seminar, and I, at that moment, the Shihan seminar. And you were there translating. Yes, Shihankaku. And yes, I also participated like that. I deepened my studies, I needed it. And so, while translating, I was studying, and every now and then I heard this English, but everything mixed up. Yes, it was 3 languages for you, yeah. But then 5, 6 days I couldn't understand anything anymore. Yes, but I remember I was so surprised to meet a Japanese woman who spoke Italian so well. I mean, but even more because not only is your Italian perfect, but you also knew Sardinia, where I live half of the time. And not only did you know it, but you had even already been to Decimo Putsu. Yes, exactly. I really feel Decimo Putsu as family. No, but for those listening, yeah, well, we call it Decimo afterwards. Yes, so anyone who is Sardinian or come from that area will be very happy to hear that a fantastic Japanese girl knows Decimo. You know Decimo, right? Yeah, so, but beyond that, on a human level, I also felt something very familiar with you from the beginning, right? As if we had known each other for a long time. Yes, because you too, right? Anyway, you have inside of you, you have something Japanese inside you, and then, no, like anyway, your smile was truly fantastic, and I really, you know, and for me, yours too, and we recognized each other. Let's say that was it. Then you were speaking anyway English, right? Because I had realized that the course was in English, so everyone was speaking English, right? And so you were speaking English too. Then at a certain point, you started speaking Italian, and I was like, what? Excuse me, but why do you speak Italian like that? Yeah, and then Antonio was in the middle like this. And then Antonio, honestly, without me, he surely could have managed perfectly well. uh, anyway, yeah, it was incredible. And then, of course, we stayed in touch because we met again together also in Taniai. Yes. The year after. So last year, actually, we went there last year. Yes, exactly, last year. Taniai, which is the village. Exactly. The village of Usui Sensei, where he was truly born, right? Exactly, he was born and he grew up there. He's the founder of Reiki Ryoho, so yes, that was too. That was brief but beautiful to experience that moment. The beautiful nature was fantastic, right? Yes. I always tell myself it's incredible how the world of energy, the world of healing, Jikiden Reiki too, keeps bringing wonderful people into my path because exactly, yeah, exactly. I'm truly grateful for that. No, 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 me too. I'm grateful. Yeah. And sorry to those listening, it was a little long, but it was only to give a bit of context to our meeting, which is beautiful. Yeah. Yes, yes. Exactly. And so, Yuki, you help people through card reading, tarot, and oracles? Yes, yes, and I'm also a hypnotherapist. And so lately, I also do treatments that are a bit particular, special. A method that we use, a method from an osteopath, and also a method with this hypnosis together. And my teacher created this particular treatment, so I am doing a bit of a mix. And Reiki, I do it for myself to orient myself a bit too and to feel well. Yes, okay, so beautiful. We will go a bit more into detail about these different techniques because it is truly beautiful. But first of all, if you agree, I want to go a little back in time and start from your story. So, so you, Yuki, who were you before meeting all these modalities, these practices? Yes. So before coming to Italy, obviously I was closed completely. I was closed. Whatever it was, I had fear of other people's judgment. Ah, okay. And I lived, only in my mind. So, more in the head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, because since I was not, I did not feel like myself. Obviously, I always had this anger on me. It almost seemed like resentment. Because this comes from the fact that when I was born, unfortunately, I carried this slight physical disability. So, you know, this thing really from birth, right? So, I hated the idea that people would discover this thing or that they might notice it, right? And so, in my behavior or when I speak, I always, when I spoke, I always felt a bit of this shame, or I always tended to want to hide something. And so, I was, I don't know if it's called shy, but no, I was closed. I was closed. But okay, in theory, my character originally was very, very open, but I couldn't, express this thing. And then, that's why I suffered so much with migraines, which also caused, real nausea, right? And no, even, I went to a neurologist, neurosurgical, yeah, neurosurgeon. Yeah, like that. They prescribed me a special particular medicine, and so nothing. I would never have imagined how I have become now. How wonderful! A completely different person. So, do you think that all of this, this closure, these fears of being a bit discovered, is perhaps what made you interested in healing or well-being, or when did you begin to approach all of this? Surely, since I could never let go of this anger, right? Because always the fault, it was always the fault of others, right? Ah, okay. It was never, it was never my fault. Always this mentality. Okay, so this thing that my disability, it's not directly, immediately healing or well-being. I was always angry. And I also got married. I was not very happy, obviously, right? And with my ex-husband, it was fantastic, obviously, but it was me who couldn't feel right, couldn't feel my happiness. Always with this anger and always something that was not right. And so surely this led me to start becoming interested in healing, and obviously after the divorce, okay, this trauma, I had to feel this right, my divorce, of course. But I was still full of victimhood. But then this victimhood was, sorry, I keep saying negative words continuously, but it was so strong and nothing. Before meeting Jikiden Reiki, I was always like that, always angry. Really? Yes, even the divorce, almost. It wasn't my fault. I never felt it was my fault. Always the fault of other people. And I am the poor little one. I am the poor little one. That's how it always was until a certain point. And then I met Jikiden Reiki, thanks to my dearest friend Deborah. She was the one who had started studying it before. So she told me, look, you have to study Jikiden Reiki. You're Japanese. But I said, but what is it? I've heard of Reiki Ryoho, but incredible. So you were still in Italy, right, at that moment? Yes. My first encounter with Jikiden Reiki was in Italy. Ah, how beautiful. Yeah. So, well, at the beginning, obviously it was not easy. I could never let go of this anger and this full victimhood, but I started practicing little by little, something really, because I started to feel the energy, right? And so, I felt this satisfaction. Obviously, I also had strong purification reactions, huh? And obviously, the opposite effect. So, right? I was trying to, because right away I liked it, and right away I truly started concentrating on this Reiki, Jikiden Reiki, right? Anyway, and so the practice, but still the same amount of anger came. Yes, of course. So, the beginning was difficult. Then, little by little, we did something inside me started to orient itself, started to balance itself a little. As if all this anger had to come out, right? Yeah, exactly. So truly, thanks to Jikiden Reiki, without, no, surely I would not have become like this. It's true. For those who meet you today, it's almost unimaginable to think that you went through all this. It's like this because then, well, when I entered Italy, almost escaping from Japan, I almost hated my origins, right? Because, it comes from this mentality where, no, I felt ashamed. And then in Japan, a bit, right, a mentality also a bit closed, right? A bit, it seems like there are all these fixed rules, right? And so, adapting was really difficult for me. Then, well, this because I saw it like that. It was not the fault of... Of course. And so, I was almost running away. I ran away. In fact, did you feel that living between Japan and Italy gave you another vision, or in the sense that it changed a bit the way you saw emotions or human relationships, precisely because of, you spoke of disclosure in Japan, and maybe in Italy you felt something different? Look, Italy truly welcomed me as I was, right? But I was not used to it. Of course, it's a big change. Crazy. Because then I wanted to open up, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I also had so much fear of not being accepted or being rejected or something. Maybe criticism, or always that idea that maybe, my small defect, maybe people would notice it. But, well, obviously, another country, anyway, also, I had to learn the language a little, so I tried to open up and little, and then a bit of fake sympathy, and then like that. I was confused, but that I was sweating so much. Really? I felt this strange sweat. Then, the first time I started, I arrived in Rome. Okay. The Romans. Romans are open. But then, full of questions. And then imagine 20 years ago, there was no cell phones, smartphones, there was, nothing. So no, what is sushi, right? What is Doraemon? No, it was still like that at the time. But, but Doraemon, what does he eat? And in that bun, what is inside? Red bean. But they are red bean, that's disgusting. But it was really like that. But it's salty or sweet? Sweet. Oh my God, come on. It was like that. And so I love it. Yeah, so it seemed strange to me, but people, even that was not a problem at all. On the contrary, you know, and I was really welcomed as I am, so I remained like that. I would, I would never have imagined it. And then you perhaps feel a difference or something different when you spoke in Italian or when you spoke in Japanese? Yes, because since I hated my origins like that, when I spoke Japanese, yeah, even, it hurt my throat so much. Even my tonsils would swell. I don't know for what reason. My throat was always closed, closed. So, I spoke Japanese like that. Like, and then in Italy, maybe, right? There were a few Japanese at the time, but there were actually many Japanese who were already living in Italy, So sometimes also in the Japanese community, right, I participated. I mean, I couldn't speak Japanese that much. The next day I would get a sore throat. Even I would also get a fever. Wow, so your body was really reacting strongly. And this made me suffer a bit. And then strangely, Italian, no? When I spoke Italian, this didn't happen. Even if I spoke it very badly, No, surely you spoke it well. No, 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 no. But um, I started learning. I don't know if maybe I had to use the voice, right, the vocality, because I don't know. It was like this. When I spoke Japanese, I was so closed, meaning that I couldn't put the right position of the vocality or the vowels, a, e, I, o, u, like that. My goodness. But yeah, but this too, thanks to Jikiden Reiki, because it started opening. Obviously, um, here, the chakra, obviously, right? The fifth chakra. Yeah. And surely I was completely enclosed. And anyway, with Reiju, or also, uh, I was doing, putting my hands on self treatment. Yes, yes, self treatment that I was also doing with Deborah or Antonio together, right? Always also with Simona, obviously, she was Shihan. Uh, so we were always practicing together. And there it started to, I don't know, really open the throat. And it started, I don't know, the vocal cords were starting to become healthier. I don't know how I can describe this thing, but even when I spoke Japanese, this pain disappeared. Wonderful. Yes, strange. So it means that I understood that Japanese and Italian, anyway, right, share the same crown of vowels. That's it in Japanese. Yeah, it's true. This is a similarity in the pronunciation, right? Japanese and Italian. Yes, yes, but obviously, maybe it was me who was too, I don't know, um, this thing would, yeah, this thing would happen to me. It was the body reacting. Reacting, yes, yes, exactly. In theory, there was nothing. So even if it's Japanese or Italian, anyway, if you speak calmly, right, with tonal vocality without creating issues, since I had this fixation, this fixed idea that Japan is closed, people are closed, I am closed, closed. And so the vocal cords too were closed. Exactly. It was only because it matched the reading you had at that moment. Yes, so, afterwards, I made peace with my roots, obviously, and discovered, obviously, the beauty in and of Japan. And yes, now too, I truly love Japan. I am proud, anyway, to have been born in Japan. Now, yes, I can say that. Now, yes, maybe it was necessary to be outside in order to understand it, right? Yeah, certainly. Interesting, yeah. So then you really started this path with Jikiden Reiki. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. And when you saw that it was working on your throat, you said, wow, okay, it really works. Really, wow. Because, the vocals, the voice, A, E, I, O, U, it started to place itself in the same position, right? Both Japanese and Italian, anyway. I also felt open when I spoke Japanese. And this is important. Very important. Yeah, you see, you see. Okay. And then so you started with Jikiden Reiki, and then how did tarot and oracle cards enter your life? So, first of all, this was during COVID, right? This situation started a little at the time that it was starting to calm down. You were still in Italy, right? Yes, in that period I started doing treatments for neighbors. In that moment when it wasn't really a. Yes, but not at the strongest moment. When it started calming down a bit and people still couldn't really get out that much. It started like that naturally because people also wanted. I also started a bit, treatments for the neighbors. Oh, beautiful. So for the neighbors of the building. Yes, neighbors, yes, yes. Of all different ages. I mean, also, right, like children and also elderly people. How beautiful. They were open. I mean, they were open to discover. Yes, yes, because all of the neighbors we were all in, right acquaintances, very close, very strong bonds. Yes, my dog would go to the neighbors to give a little strength. Come on, guys, courage, like that, right? Or maybe to give, and to have a tea. But where did your dog go? The phone would ring. Look, Papi is here. He's having coffee with us. Ah, all right, thank you. How sweet. Open. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With also Brazilian families. I don't know from whom I heard music, everyone talking a bit. He would go participate, I don't know, in a little party with a huge lunch. How beautiful. But rightly so, COVID was starting to calm down a bit, and okay, there I understood that because since I was doing many treatments, and there it really started more deeply to feel my energy. No, so at a certain point, I didn't understand well. At a certain point, I don't know. I woke up like this. Ah, I have to go. I have to get tarot cards. Ah, an information like that. Boom, it's arrived. Then obviously tarot and also astrology. I never. I mean, they never really interested me. So it wasn't something you had already studied, right? It was truly an information from nowhere or out of the blue, tarot. Yeah, out of the blue. At a certain point, destiny brought me brought me that like that. Ah, tomorrow you must go to the bookstore there, near the Duomo in Milan, and you have to get a tarot deck. All right. They arrived just like that. Just like that. But why? And yeah, but you know, I hated this idea that tarot predicts something, the future, and it felt intrusive to me. Like, you know, my idea, I thought it was something too strong because it seems right to predict the future. It didn't feel very nice to me. Yeah. And so, you know, it never really interested me. But then afterwards, I discovered that, you know, it was still, it wasn't that strong, but there was still a bit of isolation at that time, you remember. So I was studying so much for reading the cards, and above all, you know, I understood that going deeper and deeper, the tarot is not like something to predict the future. It's really, you know, a tool that is also a mirror, right? A reflection of your unconscious. Or, you know, lots of information full of wisdom for your life. Yeah, so, you know, I became like this. I fell in love with tarot. Beautiful, yeah, because it's true that for someone who doesn't know what it is, tarot cards has this image, you know, like the fortune teller who tells you the future with a crystal ball. But instead, it can also be a tool for personal growth and guidance, truly. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, because it's a truly fundamental tool for self exploration. And like that, I mean, you know, for listening to yourself, I mean, not really like just to focus on the future. And it's not, the future is not fixed, it has not arrived yet. And it's not all written, right? Yeah, of course. And so, you know, it all depends on us, right? On the moment we have. And it depends on this energy. And, right, it arrives. And so, you know, I understood that the tarot is not to predict the future. I truly started going much deeper, starting understanding much more about tarot, also reading as a way of doing the reading. Wonderful. So, in this end COVID period, it was the moment to study the tarot even more. And yeah. And you used it for yourself, but for others too? Ah, of course, of course. You know, that every now and then, because there was still, you know, that moment when it wasn't really allowed, not yet completely open to be able to go out. Yeah, so, you know, every now and then by video call like that. How beautiful. You know, I did many experiments, right? And then, you know, I was already also inventing my personal reading. Nice. Okay. Yeah, of course. Because, you know, sometimes also tarot books for reading and going deeper are important, yes. But, you know, we cannot remain only like this. These cards mean this, yes, this card means this, and like that. It's it's the mind, it's mental, right? We have to go beyond to read, right? More deeply. Yeah. A little. I also studied with many books, of course. Then I left them, and then I was trying to create my own original, you know, and this is what I created, and I'm still continuing now with clients this way. Wonderful. Yeah. So you mainly do it in Japan or also for Italians? Ah, yes, yes. Now, obviously, I am with many Japanese clients, but I also do it with Italian friends, when they want, of course, like that by video call. And yes, I do it. Then I take pictures. Yeah, so we can see, right? Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. And so you guide people a bit in both cultures, and do you have the impression, I don't know, maybe Japanese people have a different or particular relationship with this type of guidance or spiritual practices, or I mean, do you feel a difference? Look, Japanese people obviously respect something invisible, right? And so people also like going to jinja, Shinto shrines, yeah, um, temples or to pray. And a lot of culture still remains too, right? But to see, my God, I don't know, between Japanese and Italians, um, there isn't that much difference. And as far as for tarot is concerned, obviously there isn't that much difference. I mean, it depends on what the person wants to focus on. Okay. Yeah, because as I told you before, right? The future is not written yet, right? So obviously guided by anxiety obviously, if you let yourself guided by this energy of anxiety with the cards, you will feel it in the reading, obviously. Oh, you mean the anxiety of the future that comes from the person, and then you feel it in the reading. Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, because as a tool, as a true mirror of the unconscious, right? But maybe someone maybe understands, depending on the energy you have now, you have this. For example, you realize that what matters is here and now, and then the reading becomes something else, obviously. And this mindset also means that you completely trust the universe, that you can truly surrender everything to the universe, right? Yeah, the trust. Trust, exactly. And so the reading is much more flowing, or exactly, and then much more, yeah, of course. It is like that. So it really always depends on what the person wants to focus on. Sometimes tarot is really seen too superficially, and obviously it also results that way in that case. Of course, obviously, as you said, I imagine that if it is a mirror of the unconscious, but if you arrive with so much fear of the future and that anxiety is the reason you want answers because you are so afraid, I imagine it will be different than if you arrive open to receive. Yes, because this way of reading tarot is often very superficial. Okay, you have the past. Okay, you have the present. Hey, you are afraid, right? Because, often this idea is that we cannot stay in the present, obviously, because we are all regretful of what we did in the past. And then anxiety, fear of the future. So, this mindset, of course, I'm not criticizing clients that come this way, but no, of course. But of course, if you start with, what about my destiny? What will happen in 3 months? And it's all like that. And we are in control. Yeah. It's different. You understand how, of course, it exists. And I can understand because obviously life is a full experience and it's difficult. Of course, of course. But people that stay in that mindset, obviously the reading also becomes a little bit like that. It reflects the person. Exactly, exactly. Wonderful, yeah. And we talked about, the mirror of the unconscious, right? The unconscious. And this immediately makes me think of console therapy, which you told me a little bit about. But maybe for those who don't know console therapy yet, could you maybe explain it or describe it for those who are curious to know it? So, yeah, it's a very complete therapy, and it was born recently. It was created by my teacher, who is a psychologist and also, well, a hypnotherapist, specialized for many, many years. And she created this conso therapy. And the name literally means rebirth of the soul. And the soul in Japanese, kon means soul, and so means to reborn. Ah. And her name is Katsue Shimon. It's a bit a particular name there. And she created it. And then, I studied with her the hypnosis technique, inner child or past life regression. Wow. Yeah. And so, that was the foundation I had because I had studied this hypnosis method. And so it was easier because consult therapy is really an approach to the unconscious, obviously, right, based on hypnosis. And then another method is called EA Heart. Yeah, it was created by this master from with elements of osteopathy. Osteopathy. Oh, okay. So osteopathy, so the bones. Exactly. Yeah, releasing the muscles, and then something else, touching the energy of the universe. That's it. Wow. Because sometimes, often my teacher also said, and I agree too, that sometimes she felt a limit in doing only hypnosis, because hypnosis works only with, with talking, right? So people sit, relax, right? Like that. And we have to talk, but just talking. And people sometimes cannot really relax deeply all the way down, yeah? Deeply, can we say? Yeah. Sometimes, it depends. But sometimes clients could not really enter as deeply as possible. But this EA heart, since it comes from osteopathy, it helps release the muscles. When you release the muscles, people become more relaxed, because all the cells remember all these feelings we have had. Exactly. So, by doing that, right, relaxing this muscle like this, we really can go deeper. Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. This thing really works. I mean, it truly works. People become more relaxed and enter themselves because there, this way, some, blocks come up and come out a little, and people are more able to stay with themselves and to really enter the unconscious, right? And so, yeah, it is very, very relaxing, and the result is excellent. Yeah, I can imagine. It's true that if we pass through the body, the cells, the unconscious, I imagine the result can be incredible. Yes, yes, because there is really, because exactly, this means by being so relaxed, and because the goal of the treatment is to unite body, mind, and soul. That's it. And this must be the trinity that has to be balanced, right? Obviously. Of course. And this is what puts us in difficult positions sometimes because it's not balanced at all, right? This treatment finally allows people to really give themselves permission to return to their own joy, freedom, and everything that is their origins, right? So it's interesting. So it's really about returning to your essence, to what you are. Exactly. What you truly are, exactly. So witnessing these moments, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I was about to ask you what has deeply touched you maybe in this practice. I imagine if you help people return to themselves and to their state of being, it must be moving, right? Oh, yes, yes, very moving. And then, you know, also crying, not from sadness. In the end, truly, people are moved. Yeah. Because they find themselves again, or a feeling that they had not felt for a long time, and all these blockages. Obviously, look, this does not mean it's a miracle, and because people have to work on themselves. I mean, obviously, right? The treatment is like that, just like Reiki, right? Yeah. They have to do this constantly. They have to, get used to approaching the unconscious too, right? Feeling the unconscious, what's inside us. And so, it's a bit of work, obviously. But it's a wonderful treatment. Yeah, that's it. I want to try it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next time, absolutely, we'll get out the agenda. Or in Italy, wherever you want. Italy or Switzerland, who knows? Switzerland, there you go. Truly international. How beautiful. And because you've met, I imagine, many different people on your path. In your opinion, what do people need to heal the most today? Well, anyway, what we were saying before, right? We must never forget that mind, body, and soul are never separated. Exactly. The need to truly heal, right? This thing of inner separation. So, I mean, sometimes the mind is here, sometimes the soul is there. Divided. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, true healing is to return everything into union, to be united, balanced, and this era, I mean, this era where people need. Yeah. And so maybe, I don't know if it resonates. I imagine you've learned many things, but is there something in particular that you learned about yourself thanks to consotherapy? So, really not to be afraid. Ah, yeah. It is really about overcoming old limits. It is really, trusting the universe completely. This means that there is no need to become someone else. Exactly, yeah. And really, I have to say, as I am, and this is truly beautiful, right? My unique presence is me. That's it. This is what I learned because truly, as we said, right? It seems easy, but to unite, to balance body, mind, and soul, it's not easy, right? No, like especially in daily life, right? It's not like that. Always, being yourself all the time is difficult. And so, Konso taught me this. Yeah. Mm. Ooh, that's not nothing. It's something big and beautiful. Wow. And yeah, it's true because maybe, in the society we live in, we have this impression that we are never good enough or it's never enough. Exactly. So, recognizing that we are perfect in the way we are is something so powerful and beautiful. Mm. So, yeah, so always comparing yourself, right, with someone. Yeah, it's not a competition, let's say. Yeah, exactly. There's no one that wins if we think like that, right? Everyone is truly beautiful, right? And this often we forget. Exactly. Everyone has a beautiful value. And and so this is what Konso taught me. How wonderful. Mm. So I would also like to talk a bit about Reiki, if that's okay with you, because obviously, I'm more immersed in the world of Jikiden Reiki. Um, I know you told me a bit that Reiki occupies a more private space in your life. And so, what does Jikiden Reiki represent for you today? Hmm. So, first of all, I am truly proud of you. The way you are, Shihan, and you are wonderful. And look, for me, Reiki, well, as I said before, anyway, thanks to Jikiden Reiki, otherwise I would have never have, right, become as I am now. Uh, but for me, at this moment, obviously, I use it for me, to people close to me, to my family. I do it because all the dear people right around me, they adore it. And of course, also to my dog, Papi. Papi. Yes, so I do practice too. Anyway, I do it, right? But for me, it is the fundamental tool for self healing. Obviously, I use it on myself so much because then, I mean, every day I have to do readings and I have to do these treatments with the unconscious or also, support people. Yeah, of course. And so, I always have to be centered. Centered too, sometimes it's not easy, right? It's not, sometimes I also find myself with clients who do not have the same mindset, obviously, right? They are very full of anxiety and fear, and as I told you before, right? They come precisely to ask about the future. What I was saying before, as if it was, guessing the future. So, to maintain calm or for a little purification of energy, yes, it's not easy. So, I always, even during the breaks, I always do self treatments or you place your hands. Yes, that, and that helps so much. And also, for even to touch the tarot deck, it has to be right. maintained. I don't know how to describe it, but always, the energy must never, it always has to be, yeah, the fluidity, the flow. Yeah, flowing. And yes, so, it really, uh, I also have to be ready to whoever is in front of me. And so, it's also my duty to maintain, to be centered, yeah, to keep my channel clean. That's it. And so, you know, I use it obviously not only for myself, also for others. But for me, Jikiden Reiki is truly important for this. I do it for myself, for... Yes, in the end, it is also for others. Well, it is thanks to this that you use it for yourself, that then you can be more available to help others through something else. So everything comes back, right? Yeah. Because, thanks to this, truly, I always manage to be ready. Yeah, yeah. Because if there isn't this, right, this fluidity, this flow, yeah, flow, obviously, it gets blocked and remains there. And surely I start feeling much more, tired, because I work so much from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening, almost continuously with readings. And so, for me, it is important if I stay there. Almost, if the energy gets blocked like that, yeah, it becomes a problem, especially for me too. So yeah, so this way you stay you stay clean and clear and centered. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's truly important. Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. It's true that it's not. It's not always necessary to make it, in quotes, a job. I mean, anyway, it works. It works. It works on you. It works, and it still helps others in different ways, but always from the fact that you manage to stay centered. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, yeah. Then especially when I always do readings. Then it seems that at a certain point, I don't know how to explain that well, but people ask in a way, it's like they're praying like this, almost like, my presence is important. But it's not like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's projection, right? People project. And so, by doing the treatment, right? When I do the self-treatment anyway, it always allows me to empty my ego, right? Of course. And even though, readings look, it's not easy because people, that seems like they are praying, asking for something. It seems like you are important. So if you get used to that position, I don't know, I'm talking about something a bit delicate. Oh, right? No, it's very interesting. It seems to them like it's me, I'm the one doing it. That's not good. That's not good. Even, surely for those who do channeling, you have to be, neutral. And sometimes a bit, we forget this neutrality that is so important. And so, with the Reiki, anyway, it allows during breaks, I do it because it is also the main reason. It allows me to empty the ego. It's wonderful, yeah. To truly feel, the heart with love. And because I am truly neutral, I'm only acting as a bridge. It's not me doing it like Yuki saying, oh my God, powerful. What? Do you understand? But Yet often this gets confused, right? I imagine it's easy, to fall into that trap. Exactly, exactly. Even while teaching. Ah, there you go. Because there is a bit of that projection from the person who comes looking for answers, right? And so, being in that position, it is interesting to remember that we are only a channel. Yeah, a channel between information, and that it's not us doing it, whether it is teaching, readings, or treatments, right? Yeah, yeah. Humility. Humility is important because sometimes, truly, because of the way clients treat us, it seems like I could also feel, oh, I'm important. Yes, thank you. Look, look how powerful. Come on, no. No, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I also believe it's our role to remind clients, students, right? That we are like them and that we are human. Yeah? Exactly. Exactly. So, for me, Jikiden Reiki always allows me to, oh, Yuki, be careful. Don't forget this. It's not you. You didn't understand. You are not more powerful than, remembering that you are a channel, and that is important. And yes, it's true, it's true. And if the flow is blocked, obviously we can forget. So it's important to have this continuous flow of energy, of Reiki, of anything. That's why we must be empty. I'm carried by this. I am powerful like this. I'm capable. Oh my. Exactly. No, really, run away. Run away from that. Imagine. But listen, people fall into this trap and it's dangerous. It is dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous for everyone actually. For the person who develops a big ego, but above all, for the person in front of them, right? And that's not right. No, absolutely. Thanks to Reiki, Tadao Sensei. Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. This was important to remind everyone. Yeah. Thank you. Yuki, I have a question. We have already talked a little about it. I think we touched the subject during the conversation, but I have a question that I ask all of the guests of Healing Banashi podcast. And the question is, when you hear the word healing, what does it mean to you? And I guess you already talked about it, but just to confirm. Yeah, exactly. Right. I would always like to repeat, obviously, reminding ourselves who we truly are. Because, this Trinity, right, which is always a bit, right, to bring imbalance, right? And so surely remembering who we truly are and to balance, to put, body, soul, and mind into place, and also the expectation of others that is removing, that is bringing us away from who we truly are. So it means removing layers of conditioning, fears, expectations, not feeling enough, just to truly and simply return to the true essence and truly the essence of our soul. That's it. So, yeah, as we said before, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, truly returning to the essence, right? Yes, clearly to become again truly the original us, who we really are. So it would be returning, yeah? It is really not creating something new. No, it's going back, returning. Yeah, returning. And though it seems, it seems so difficult to surrender to the universe, instead, it is truly who we really are. So simple to trust the universe, right? Yeah, yeah, beautiful. So truly, these three sides of being, which are very often a little hidden, or I don't know where, that do not connect with each other. And instead, it is about returning to be one with these three sides. Yeah, so it's a real act of unconditional love and to love unconditionally like that. Beautiful. I imagine that that is always what happens when a person truly begins to heal, because everything starts to unite, right? Among these three. Yeah. Yeah. Soul and the body. Yes. You can also see that the frequency changes, right? I mean, also the breathing, really, look, I realized that Japanese people breathe very badly. It's true. It's true. Also, the yogi methods that, right? I mean, they truly teach this inhalation, right? And that must be deep. But truly, Japanese people, especially young people, it's like this. They breathe very badly. This means that you truly do not trust anything. Then you are not very grateful for, the air. And this is not, this is not being yourself. So when maybe a person truly begins to heal, breathing changes too, frequency changes too. And yes, also stopping fighting against everything, also blaming others, blaming events. And as we said, starting again to trust the universe like that. With time, of course. Of course, of course. Spectacular, right? Little by little. It's very interesting what you said about breathing. It's true that you really see people heal when this form of breathing changes. I mean, breathing changes a lot, and when there is this, yeah. Then, you know that Japanese people still tendentially always wear masks. Ah, yeah. Hey, but COVID is over. Yet, now there are still masks, because these masks, no? Like I said at the beginning, right? People, they don't trust themselves, right? And there is something they want to hide. And so, some people even prefer to keep always wearing the mask. But, how do they breathe? Yeah. There is this concept, I think, I see a lot when I take transport, public transport in Japan, right? Of, not bothering the other, of not taking up space, being very, very small, and not to create meiwaku to others, not disturbing others. No, but also the fear of microbes. I don't know. Ah, that too, yeah. But because this means that you cannot trust, right? You cannot trust spirit, because air is spirit, right? Of course. Then, someone that is afraid of feeling sick or catching a cold or the flu. But when you catch the flu, there's a reason why you catch it. It's truly the right moment. And so, if someone gets the flu, they must also get the flu, but not to defend themselves, right? And then,
Japanese people still use a lot, this thing to purify with alcohol.
Ah, yes, sanitizing gel. Things like that, yeah?
They use it so much, you know, you know, the Japanese, they do it with, they do this, bowl of rice with umeboshi,
Yeah, umeboshi.
Japanese plum. And to do so, you need, how do you say, bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria.
Yeah, the bacteria that we originally have naturally. I don't know what it's called in Italian, but when preparing,
Yeah, that would be microbes.
yes, they are necessary, but everything is so sanitized that the natural microbes are no longer there. So, now they can even make
Umeboshi?
Japanese cooking beautiful. Yeah,
Because there aren't enough.
yeah.
No way. Yeah. So there you see, it's not even natural at that point if there aren't any, in the air.
You have seen with rice bowls and vegetables this thing also made with hands, right? But because everything is so sanitized, there are no microbes. And so, well, look, it makes me sad because we are moving away from the true original Japanese culture, right?
But also from nature.
I mean, so it's the same thing. Enough with masks, enough. It's not possible. I mean, it hinders breathing, and because in nature, I mean, we cannot stay only with, only good bacteria. Even the bad ones are necessary for balance.
Of course. Otherwise, we become plastic.
Yeah, you understand. So, anyway, yeah, breathing too.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine. So, yeah, it's important. Yeah. Well, I still have a few small questions, but tell me, what gives you joy in this moment of your life, Yuki?
Dedicating myself, dedicating time to myself, doing more readings, more and more readings, as many treatments as possible, because it seems like I am the one doing, but actually, no. I am, I mean, thanks to the clients, it's me who, thanks to them, I receive so many teachings and, messages and wisdom and new awareness, you know. And really, yeah, then, it gives me so much joy to share that moment of exchange, of this energy during this the reading of the treatments or the moment of Reiki too. And so, at this moment for me, my joy is a lot of readings and treatments that I can do.
How wonderful. Yeah. Because in the end, every time, it is also a teaching for you, right? And yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's really like that. It seems, no, it seems that, I mean, thanks to them, I am truly happy. I become kind of neutral if I can do it with, you know, uh, but really so much awareness or truly new teachings, thanks to them, arrive right there. So, yes, I appreciate that moment so much.
How beautiful. And speaking of clients, of the people who come to you, what would you like to transmit to those people who come to you?
Obviously, as we said, I would want them anyway to remember their beauty, precisely their original beauty. That's it, you know. I would like to say that it's okay. It's okay exactly as it is, as you are. You are loved just as you are, peacefully, and to trust life, like trusting the universe. I would like to say this, and if I can, I don't know, if I can help in approaching this mindset, truly, truly, I'm here with pleasure, anywhere, anyway, at any hour. And that's what I would like to say.
Wonderful, yeah. I'm sure that this reaches people because, with your beautiful presence, your beautiful energy, people certainly receive a lot. And there is still this question, right? Because we talked about the Yuki of before, who was closed off, who had all this victimization, right? Yeah. What would you like to say today to that younger version of Yuki who still didn't know all these practices?
I would absolutely like to say, look, you have to trust the process. That's what I would like to say. Because all events and everything have a meaning. Everything has meaning to create. It is exactly how I became. And so, I am only preparing the ground for the light to bloom. So that's what I would like to say.
Yeah, everything is part of the path that had to bring us there.
Everything will be okay. Yeah. And I would really like to say this. Because everything has a meaning and there is nothing to lose. It is truly to build, right? And all the pieces to build to become how I have become now. So surely I needed all the pieces, all the experiences that I went through. Before I hated them so much because I always felt that all those experiences were useless to me, right? That they were really useless. And I hated them. I never wanted them anymore. Look, that they were to be thrown away, really to be thrown away. I thought like that about every smallest details, and yet, by welcoming all those precious pieces, they were exactly what I needed to become how I have become now. So I would really like to say, I would like to say, stay calm, calm. You're doing well. You're going well. That's what I would like to say.
Exactly. Even if you can't speak and your throat hurts. Yeah, how beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing this beautiful journey that is yours with us today.
Thank you, listeners of Innina. Thank you. Sorry for my imperfect Italian.
Oh no, absolutely, you're better than me.
No. Anyway, come on.
But Yuki, before saying goodbye, if people want to contact you and come to see you, how can they do it? Like maybe from your website or?
Yeah, my website is called Vasaria. It is the name of an angel. Yeah, and Vasaria Tarot Reading. there's a website, and so yes, absolutely, come visit whenever you want. And yeah, thank you for having the patience to listen to all this chaos of it in Italian.
No, not at all.
Truly like in Nina, right? Generous. So, yes, I feel very relaxed speaking. That's it.
How beautiful. Thank you, Yuki. I will also include the links to your website below in the show notes.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu. It has been an honor. Always a great pleasure.
A great pleasure for me. I'm truly proud of you, of how capable you are, and I adore you, and as a Shihan, and I adore her.
And I adore you, you know it. Thank you. All right, then we'll talk to each other soon. Thank you. Kisses and hugs. And thanks to everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Sometimes healing does not arrive like something spectacular. Sometimes it arrives slowly through a word, an encounter, a silence, or a person who helps us return to ourselves, and perhaps that is exactly the deepest meaning of healing. Thank you so much for listening, and once again a big thank you to Yuki for her presence, her words, and for sharing her journey with us today. And thank you to all of you for being here with us until the very end. You can find me on social media, and all the links are available in the show notes. May this listening or watching accompany you with gentleness and kindness. See you very soon for the next episode, and in the meantime, take care.